On this episode of Just Informed Talk, Q tells us the Democrats' new playbook is exactly like their old one. Blame Russia. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. I always like to say thank you to all my subscribers when we get started here. If you guys haven't, come to the landing page, click that big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you can get notified when these videos get posted. So, today's video, we're going to talk about the latest QAnon posts. If you guys want to get caught up to where we're at, I certainly would encourage you to come back here to the landing page, watch these last few videos, and that'll catch you up to where we're at now. And you can go back as far as you want, really. And if you're scratching your head going, what's QAnon? I encourage you to come here to this video and watch it. It's going to give you a good idea of what QAnon is, how to do the research, where to find the information, all that kind of stuff. And even if you know all that, it's a great video to share on your social media if you want to red pill your friends. So that being said, we're going to start right here, this is where we left off. And it says, Anon's ready. And then the next post says, memes ready. And then it says, are you ready to see arrests? Are you ready to see pain? Are you ready to be a part of history? Q. So this means something big was coming in. Now, this was yesterday. So today we've had these crazy new posts. And here they begin. First is a repost. You guys remember this picture. This is Dianne Feinstein cornering Lisa Murkowski in the halls after they've basically broken their session, where it would appear that she was basically threatening Lisa. And this is crazy because listen to what Q has to say about this. Q says, picture repost, a picture is worth 1,000 words. See evil in the face of Feinstein. See fear and emotion in the face of Murkowski. A phone was present. Q. Wow, well that's pretty awesome. What Q's saying basically is that one of them had a phone, and as we know, phones are microphones and cameras, and they're very easily basically hacked by military intelligence or the NSA or other intelligence agencies, mostly the NSA. So maybe they heard that whole conversation, and I wonder what kind of threats allegedly you could say possibly Dianne Feinstein made to Lisa Murkowski, something to the effect of, you better not vote for Kavanaugh, you better not vote for anything. Sorry, that's my best Feinstein impression. It's hard to get her perfect, but you guys got me in a good mood, and that was one of my great impressions, as you guys know. So that being said, it's saying, do you see the evil in the face of Feinstein? And yes, I mean, if you look at this picture and you kind of just look at her face. I mean, look at that. She's just staring her down with that death stare. And you can tell that Lisa Murkowski, I mean, is just being backed into a corner here. She probably would fall through that doorway if the door was open. So, you know, you can tell that she's really being intimidating there. I mean, the picture was great. I don't know how it was gotten, who got it, but wow, it is perfect. And then it says, do you see the fear and emotion in Murkowski? Yes, it's fairly obvious. So there you go. And then the next one. Okay, so now this one's pretty important. So this is a older post Q wants us to reread. It's from August 31st of 2018, and it talks about the special approval, but it talks about everything. It talks about Natalia Veselnitskaya, which we talked about last time, how she relates to Paul Manafort, how they used this connection to frame President Trump in order to get the ability to go ahead and spy on the president. Obviously, this is what this was meant to show us, and it shows us that that's how the Carter Page FISA warrant started, and that's what was the predicate. And so Natalia was obviously a plant. And it's saying that there's a paper trail because Loretta Lynch let her into the country. It was Barack Obama, his administration, his attorney general, who signed off so that this lady could come in. For what purpose? Oh, I don't know. So she could go over, because she got a special exemption, as I recall, to actually come. And she went and had this private meeting with Donald Trump Jr., but then I've heard and read reports that of course she had a meeting with Fusion GPS before it and a meeting with Fusion GPS after it. Which is why Glenn Simpson is going to be in front of, or is going to be hopefully called to testify, and we're going to get more information there. But if you see what this is all saying, right, it's talking about how there was a paper trail there. That's how she got into the country. The Papadopoulos thing, the Manafort thing, these were all the guys that were put in President Trump's sphere, and then they were the targets, basically. And they were easy targets because they had dirt on these guys, obviously. And they did it to Flynn, but they didn't have any dirt on him, so they had to use the 302 to say he lied, which is basically when the FBI takes a written report, it's called a 302. So they used that written report to say that General Flynn lied, and then they brought him up on charges too. Why? Q says you have to silence all those illegally targeted for FISA surveillance. And this all came with the assistance and help of the United Kingdom. And you know how? Is they helped us by helping us get around our own regulations for collecting information on our own citizens. When Q references here Section 702, what Q's referencing is the fact that it is illegal for us to use FISA to spy on our own citizens. If you do happen to pick up U.S. citizens' information, you have to usually block it and you're not allowed to usually use it or look at it. Basically, it's supposed to just be an anonymous thing where they put they basically have a way of keeping that name from getting known. But with that being said, it talks about that, how it's been used against. They subverted it by going to foreign intelligence agencies, basically. They got around the Section 702 clause. And the example Q gives us right here is very important. It says P talks to X, X talks to Y, Y talks to Z. So it's like you talk to me and then I talk to somebody else, and then or I talk to you, then you talk to somebody else, then they talk to somebody else, and that means that the guy is like 4 people removed from you is good enough reason to go spy on you. It's insanity, right? But that's the umbrella nature, and they're obviously allowed to get around it with the UK's assistance. And so there you go. They took down the FISA. They deconstructed it. They had a spy that they were inserting. I think that was Stephen Halper, one of the guys who went in as a spy. I mean, they're even saying, Q was telling us the other day, they had these spies in President Trump's campaign wearing wires. That's insanity. That just shows you the level of corruption we're dealing with here. But it says this all happened, and that's what Q wants us to remind us of. So they did what they had to do, but we're coming right back at them. It says important to remember Q. So we remember that. All right, now the next one is this incredible story, right? So one of the VIPs who was selected at the rally for Trump actually was able to get back on the boards afterwards and post an incredible story, and let's hear it. You guys, this is just another proof of Q, so I want to share it with you guys here really quick. So this guy right here was at a President Trump rally. Here's his credentials. He was selected to be a VIP. Here's his story. It says VIP Anon here. It says, I hate that name, by the way. I am not VIP and not really anonymous anymore. Lol. And it says, but I want to thank all the bakers and Anons here that contribute so much to the Q movement. So I went to the rally tonight and had the privilege of meeting President Trump. What a great guy. Very personable and very nice in person. I had the opportunity to take a picture with him that they will mail at a later date. So after the photo was taken, I asked him the question. I have a question. This is him giving a rundown of the conversation. And it says, President Trump, okay. And then he says, is Q real? President Trump, he looked me right in the eye, paused for an uncomfortable second, then threw out his hands to the side and said, I don't know, maybe. Another pause, then said, I do know they are great people. And then he replied, yes, they are. And I get goosebumps when I hear that. I mean, this is incredible. It just tells us we're on the right track. Even if President Trump wasn't Q, could you imagine? I mean, the military intelligence, whoever, I mean, obviously President Trump has something to do with it. So it's just really great. And another proof of Q that nobody's going to cover. I'm sure they're just going to pretend like it never happened. But God bless that guy, whoever did that, the VIP Anon. Good job. That's so cool. And God bless the president. So that is awesome. And you guys. God bless you guys too. So, but here we go. It's saying important moment in time. The picture will be the signifier. The signifier will force the Q. The Q will be answered. Where we go one, we go all. Q. Oh. So is that suggesting that we're going to know the answer to that question soon? I don't know, but I can tell you right now, it is an incredible, incredible piece of proof that I think we should just continue to share. Now, the next one here, it says Red October 2, and it's got a picture of this sub, and it's got this tweet attached to it, which is this at DEFCON DEFCON warning system alerts, DEFCON W or DEFCON WS alerts. So it says Russia's most advanced and stealthy submarine ever just went to sea. Okay, so you kind of read the story, and it's talking about Russia's most advanced and stealthy nuclear sub. All right, so that in and of itself is not that incredible, except what Q tells us, which is that double meanings exist. Now, we've talked about Red Octobers for so long. Red October could mean a dozen different things, and there could be multiple meanings. Obviously, this is Q telling us there could be a double meaning there. Now, what Q's going to talk about next is what happened with a submarine that was apparently rogue and launched a missile, and the missile was apparently shot down or something to that effect. And that's a pretty incredible story. And that would have lent itself to the whole idea that I think they were trying to use this rogue Russian sub to start a war, right? If you get a rogue sub that's controlled by, let's say, deep state operatives to go out in the middle of the ocean and launch a missile somewhere, and then you could easily blame in the heat of the moment Russia before an in-depth investigation could ever be ran. You could probably even sink that sub in the middle of the Pacific and nobody would ever find it. But you could hypothetically start a war. And these people are so desperate that I think Q is suggesting, and I think it's possible, that they are willing to start a war to cover up their crimes. As sick and despicable and deplorable as that is, that would be something that I wouldn't put past them for a second. Now, with that being said, there's a little more context in the next few posts. So first, Q's responding to his own post right here with this older post from February 11th, 2018, where Q talks about how the future news will highlight, note the hunt for was dropped, details matter Q, which is when we were talking about Red October a lot, and Q basically said, hey, the hunt for was dropped, meaning maybe they stopped looking for a rogue sub that was out there, right? Because obviously, I think it was talking about the media. It was talking about their whole push for the Russian story. And when they realized that was going to hit a dead end, they dropped the hunt for a Red October, and then also it has a double meaning to talk about a rogue sub, which we're going to talk about in a second. But then Q gives this Twitter post from CNN, where it says, a top U.S. admiral warns of a Russian submarine threat. Again, they're picking back up that Russia narrative to go after the president, basically saying, look, you're about to get this Supreme Court justice. You're about to drop this, declassify all this information that's going to show how corrupt the FBI and the DOJ were under the Obama administration. Oh, now we're back to Russia. Oh, scary Russia. It's all Russia. You know what? I don't buy it anymore. I'm not a Russian apologist. I'm a red-blooded American, and I'm telling you right now, we need to look where the facts point us, not where CNN points us, because CNN is trying to misdirect you. Trust you, me. And that's what it has been like for a long time. It says, and so it begins. How do you start a war? Markers matter. Playbook fail. Q. So I think what that's basically saying, in a nutshell, is they want to start this war internal to go against President Trump again, to push this whole Russia thing, and they would like probably to start an actual war so that they wouldn't have to talk about the criminal acts that they've committed, right? And that says markers matter, and we've had plenty of markers to point us and lead us along the way, but then playbook fails, obviously referring to the Democrat playbook. So we're going to have to see where this goes. This is going to be a very tough time. And now the next post is tied definitely intrinsically in with this last few posts. And of course, it's Q here responding to his own post when we just went over, showing us this old Skunk Bay picture. Now, this was a post from Q where it was Skunk Bay weather. This video was taken from June of 2018, and it talked about an unauthorized missile that was fired. And it's saying that there was an unauthorized emergency incoming missile threat activated in Hawaii, and POTUS on President Trump on Air Force One. POTUS reroutes. Coincidence? No MSM investigations. Biggest threat to the American people. Q. So whatever happened with this missile that took off here, that Q pointed us to and showed us, there was some very major threat. And it's all tied back into what happened in Hawaii with that missile threat. And obviously, it was tied in. People have speculated that this missile could have been fired at President Trump as he traveled, but then there's different travel plans and all that stuff. I'll leave that to you guys to do your own, research. But I can tell you right now, as far as what we know, this is definitely very possible that this is much bigger than we could ever imagine. And it's obviously what Q's showing us is this is how they want us to try to start a war. That, to me, ladies and gentlemen, that is a missile. I don't care what you say. You're not going to tell me that's a streak from, a glare of the sun or something. That's a missile, and this is being fired out of our own, right off our own coast here. So then it says, post-Justice Kavanaugh confirmation, Russia, Russia, Russia. Thank United Kingdom, Australia, Russia, Russia, Russia. Deflect, declassified. Deflect, blame. Focus, Russia, global enemy. The hunt for dropped. Why? When was the unauthorized missile fired? Was it found, discovered prior to hunt? Russia, sub-threat, push. Red October, double meanings exist. And then I think you have 17 dots here, and then Q. And that might be referring back to the double meaning thing, like 17 dots and Q, 17th letter, that kind of thing. But then it also goes back up here just to go through these. Obviously, after Justice Kavanaugh is confirmed, they're going to push this Russia story hard because the UK and Australia are trying to cover their tail because they know good and well that what they did was very illegal, and it was something that the American people would not like at all one bit, to know that foreign governments are being used by our own government to spy on our own people to get around our Constitution. That, to me, is a really big deal. And that's why they're going to push it as Russia is the global enemy, and they are the number one threat to everyone in the world. When the reality is, I think we should do our best to have a good relationship with countries that have that kind of capability. And I think we all need to be looking a lot closer at China. But that being said, it's kind of just going through the fact that this is how they're going to deflect from the declassified. This is how they're going to deflect the blame. And they're going to, when it says why was the hunt for dropped, is because they dropped that narrative because it wasn't going anywhere. Now they're just going to bring it back up because they thought they had a great narrative to go after President Trump on all these other things. And now they're going back to the Russia trough, if it would appear. But if you guys have a different take, please leave it down in the description. Also, it says, when was the unauthorized missile fired? Well, according to the video, it looked like it was June 10th. So this was at a pretty important time for President Trump. This was right at the time that President Trump was attending the G7 conference. And you can only imagine they might have even said, "We have you now, President Trump. Here's him." They go after him. And it's just sickening. But that's what Q's telling us. So that's something we need to keep looking at. And then it says, was it found, discovered prior to hunt? And I guess that would be referring to the fact, did they know about this previously? Did they find it before it was able to be put out there? Or did they, take it down really quickly because they knew exactly where it was? And then, of course, there is the Russia sub-threat push. That is going to be the next big thing. This is the Red October scare that they're trying to put out against us. They're going to try to tell us that President Trump's a Russian again, just up until the election, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, I guess they like to double down on failing strategies. So then it says double meanings exist, and that's referring to all of this basically. So you guys, if you have different takes and other information you want to share about that, please go down in the description and leave your comments down there. Now the next one is a great post here. It's saying, look here, Russia, do not look here, China. And then it gives this YouTube video, which is Mike Pence delivering a speech on China. And I'm going to leave this video down in the comments, in the description, I should say, for you guys to watch. I think it's definitely worth it, and Q wants you to watch it as well. I'm going to play you a little bit of it, but I think it's a good bit that's worth playing.
The American people deserve to know. In response to the strong stand that President Trump has taken, Beijing is pursuing a comprehensive and coordinated campaign to undermine support for the president, our agenda, and our nation's most cherished ideals. I want to tell you today what we know about China's actions here at home. some of which we've gleaned from intelligence assessments, some of which are publicly available, but all of which are fact. As I said before, as we speak, Beijing is employing a whole-of-government approach to advance its influence and benefit its interests. It's employing this power in more proactive and coercive ways to interfere in the domestic policies of this country and to interfere in the politics of the United States. The Chinese Communist Party is rewarding or coercing American businesses, movie studios, universities, think tanks, scholars, journalists, and local, state, and federal officials. And worst of all, China has initiated an unprecedented effort to influence American public opinion, the 2018 elections, and the environment leading into the 2020 presidential elections. To put it bluntly, President Trump's leadership is working, and China wants a different American president.
So there you have it. I mean, that was just a little taste of it, and it is just 43 minutes of awesomeness. If you want to watch it, I'll leave that link in the description so you guys can go down there and click it and watch it after this video, of course. Now it says, worth 43 minutes of your time. Fake news will never report. Important to understand going forward. Facts matter. Q. And I agree 100%. I've been trying to raise the alarm on China myself. I've published a lot of videos in the last few weeks dealing with China's crazy policies toward America, where they're filling our country with drugs and they're setting up traps with our technology. There is some pretty big stuff. This video here, the China trap, is a good one, and this video, China's secret drug war, is a good one too, if you guys want to get more information on that. But yeah, that's literally what's going on here, and this is just, the video is so great. The speech by Mike Pence is so great. It goes through in detail how China's doing all of these different things and infiltrating our society at every level because they're trying to undermine us, and they're trying to, instead of having, you know what they fear the most? They fear the most having leaders and representatives in our country who actually represent the will of the American people. Not leaders like the Democrats and Hillary and her a gang of, little cronies who are corrupt and can be corrupted so easily. They love that. You know what they hate? They hate politicians who will actually take a stand and do what's right and will lead from a point of morality and dignity and integrity instead of leading from whoever has the most money, please, I'll sell out to you. So that's what they're terrified of, and that's what we've stopped. So there's that. And then the last one here is actually kind of incredible. It's talking about what is going on with Justice Kavanaugh. So it says, Justice Kavanaugh, highest court in the land, law and order, majority, U.S. Constitution, safeguarded. It was our last chance to save it, non-force, right? It's crazy. I pray that we never ever have to use force ever. But then it gives this YouTube video. We've seen it 1,000 times. It's saying this is the video that will get Donald Trump elected. And it's a great video. I'll leave this one in the description as well. But with that being said, Q goes on to say, think HRC win, Supreme Court appointments, Supreme Court corrupt tilt. Example, Loretta Lynch. Now comes the pain. Now comes the real truth. Boom, boom, boom. They want you divided. Divided by race, religion, culture, class, political affiliation. Divided you are weak. Together you are strong. This movement challenges their forced narrative. This movement challenges people to not simply trust what is being reported. Research for yourself. Think for yourself. Trust yourself. This movement is not about one person or a group of people. We the people. Save the republic. Hatred and dissension in the nation will heal. Where we go one, we go all Q. And these words are I feel like 100 years from now, we may see this on a plaque somewhere in D.C. as the moment that saved our republic. One of many that we've done here with Q. Because like I've said, a lot of people ask me, what is Q? And is Q real and all this stuff? And I go, regardless, look at what we've started. Look at the way that you guys are asking questions. You're not blindly accepting what's coming at you on the mainstream media. And like I always tell you guys, don't just trust me. Go out and research this. Independently verify facts. Don't rely on the news to just tell you what to think. And that's what we have a big problem with in our country. The corporate media has basically a slave grip over people's minds when it comes to the information, the news that they see. And it's not even their fault. A lot of people are busy. A lot of people work. A lot of people don't have time to worry about this stuff. And that's fine. But you can't have a press that is maliciously and malignantly acting against what's good for the sovereignty of our country and the security of our country as a whole. See, they're not motivated by patriotic duty in the media. They're not motivated by anything other than greed and control of information. And in some cases, vanity, and in some cases, other things. But for the most part, those are the predominant things that they are motivated by. So, and then you get few patriots like Tucker and others who get up there and try their best to fight and argue a point because they believe that it's right. And I tell you what, you can't turn on any of the mainstream media now without just seeing so much fake. And I'm not talking, it's on Fox News too. All right. And it's not just fake news. It's fake people who are not who they seem, who pretend to be motivated by patriotism, this altruism of, wanting what's best for everyone, when in reality, they're obviously lying to you. So that's what I look at it as. That's where I come from. That's my personal opinion. I'm not telling you to even believe me. Check it out for yourself. Be skeptical. That's the real point. The point is not to just believe what I say in my opinion or anyone else's. It's to have an opinion for yourself, an educated opinion, an informed opinion, which is why I do this channel, to inform people, to give them an ability, because some people do work and they want to look at this information in its aggregation, and that's great. But more importantly, it's about having a discussion, talking about different viewpoints, and I think that's why it's so important what Q is doing here and what this movement has become for all of us. So that's why I'm a follower, and that's why I believe in what we're doing here, and that's why I've devoted, myself to covering this information and to helping further the movement. So that's what it is, and we're going to go ahead and leave it there because everything else is pretty self-explanatory, guys. And I'll look forward to reading through the comments and seeing what you guys have to say about it. So that's going to be it. But stick around for one more minute. We're going to talk about a few more things. So first of all, if you want to help out the channel, come here, click the big red subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. Also, watch these videos and share them on your social media. It makes a huge difference when you come here and hand share the videos. It's pretty simple. If you're going to watch the video anyway, you might as well share it on YouTube or, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. That's just an easy way to help out the channel. And also leave your thoughts, theories, and insights down in the comments because, like I say, we try our best to have our own QAnon research board at the end of each one of these videos where we don't just talk about Q posts, we talk about news, religion, politics, culture, everything in between. And if you guys want to, even if you can't comment, scroll down and read through the comments because there's a lot down there. Also, you can help out by coming over here and finding me on Twitter at JustinFormTalk. Again, that's at Justin at Justin_formed on Twitter. That would be the handle, at Justin_formed. And when you do that, all you have to do is come here and click the follow button, and then you'll get all my tweets. You'll get all the YouTube videos. As soon as they're posted, they automatically get posted over here. Plus, all the articles from my website automatically get posted over here. And if you're asking what articles, well, I'm glad you asked. JustinFormedNews.com is the official website for Just Informed Talk. So all you gotta do is go over to JustinFormedNews.com, all one word, JustinFormedNews.com. And when you come here, check it out and let me know what you think. I really appreciate that. Also, another note, we always like to keep mentioning this, for everyone, it's coming up soon in December of this year, 2018, December 6th through 8th. If you're going to be in Washington, D.C. and you want to attend the American Priority Conference, you'll have a chance to meet myself and a lot of other incredible people. I'm actually working on putting together a Q panel where I'm hopefully going to be able to bring in some people you would definitely know from YouTube other channel makers, other content creators on YouTube, and other people who have different opinions, but an incredibly dynamic panel we're going to have hopefully there, and that should be pretty cool. Plus, there's going to be a lot of other great names at this conference. So if you guys want to do that, you go to AmericanPriority.com and you click here to register. It's in DC, Washington, D.C., as I said, December 6th through 8th. And if you want a 5% discount, and to let them know I sent you, use the coupon code JustInformedNews, and you can get that off. So that's pretty cool. And there are actually a couple more ways you can help out the channel. This would be a way to help out financially. And I can tell you guys it means the world for you guys to come here and do it. But you can come over here to Patreon, Patreon.com. You can search Just Informed Talk. When you get here to this landing page, you click this button to become a patron. It's a monthly donation, so it's once a month. You can set it and forget it and know that you're helping fund the creation of this content, and you can give as little as $1 or as much as you want, but your contributions are what help keep this channel alive in the face of all the stuff I have to deal with YouTube and that demonetization that ends up happening. You guys are what keep this channel alive, so your daily or your monthly support can make a huge difference, and I'm thankful to every one of you. Also, if you're not so interested in the monthly thing, I totally understand. That's why I created this GoFundMe. It's gofundme.com/just-informed. And when you come here, you click the donate button. You can make a one-time donation or an anonymous donation, and that helps out the channel big time too. Links will be in the description. So thank you so much for checking that out. Now, before we go, we're going to take a second to do what is most important, and that is talk about God's grace and how it is greater. That's how we always end these episodes because it is so important to remember God in all of this. And I want to share some scripture like I always do. And this is a great verse. So out of Romans chapter 13, verses 8 through 10. And this talks about how love is our primary duty. And I know that sounds crazy to some people if you think about how evil the other side is. But we have to remember as Christians, when we see this evil, it is our duty to stand up against it, but at the same time, we have to fight evil with good. You can't fight evil with evil, because then you just create more evil. You have to fight evil with good, and love is our primary duty. So I want to share this verse with you. I think it's great, and I think you guys will too. It says, again, it's Romans chapter 13, verses 8 through 10. It says, "Do not owe anyone anything except to love one another. For the one who loves another has fulfilled the law, the commandments. Do not commit adultery, do not murder, do not steal, do not covet. And if there is any other commandment, all are summed up by this: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor. Love, therefore, is the fulfillment of the law." And I think that's as simple as it gets. We see so much, and I'm an imperfect human being just like everyone else. I get frustrated, I get angry, I get upset, especially when I see the way the Democrats act and the way that the rhinos, the Republicans in name only act, and how the whole media is just completely crazy, and how desperate lawyers, creepy ones, if you know what I mean, come out of the woodwork, all that stuff. But it just makes me understand more when I read a verse like that, how God wants us to be. We have to be better than that. And it's hard. It's not easy. And for some people, it's easier than others. But you have to be a step above that. And like I said, it says it clearly in the Bible. You cannot fight evil with evil. You must conquer evil with good. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the true gift that God gives us. So I'm going to leave it there. I want to thank you all for watching. Again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, now's a great time to do it. Come here, click the big red subscribe button. It helps the channel out a lot. But I want to thank you all for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.